Hi, I'm John Cirabisi, and I produce, direct, and edit television and film. This is some of the drone footage that I shot for the Suffolk County IDA, the Industrial Development Association for Suffolk County. Their job is to help encourage other businesses to move to Suffolk County. So what they wanted to do is make a promotional tape to show how cool it was here. And so they sent me around to different locations in Suffolk County to highlight some of the best things about it. How did I first start out in the entertainment industry? Basically, I didn't have any connections who already worked in the industry, so I thought that it was a little bit challenging, but I knew that I really wanted to get into television and film. I went into New York City, and I went to the mayor's office of film, and I looked up all the companies. So what I did is I looked on that list and I saw that there was this movie with Robert De Niro in it that had applied for a permit and was going to be shooting very soon in the next couple of months. So I got really excited about it. That movie was called A Bronx Tale. I wrote a cover letter and resume, pretty standard, asking for a job as a production assistant on there. And then what I also did was I found a small little office paper shredder for like $30, and I sent it with my resume, and I wrote in the cover letter, "Here's a little something to help you out with all the other resumes you're gonna get." And I got a call the next day, and they called me in and they said, "Oh, how did you think of that?" They hired me, and they basically called me the shredder for the rest of the time that I worked as a production assistant on The Bronx Tale. Recently, I've edited a lot of shows for cable television channels in New York City. One of the shows I've edited recently is called Impractical Jokers on True TV, and it's basically a reality comedy show with 3 guys from Staten Island who do different kinds of hijinks and comedy skits to unsuspecting victims. But it's all in fun and everyone has a good time, and True TV airs it every 5 minutes, so that's a good thing. I use all different types of editing software. I've been doing it a while, so the type of software or the brand of software doesn't really matter to me. So I started out editing in Avid, and that's my main editing program. And now, for a while, Final Cut Pro 7 was the leading editing program. So then Final Cut Pro X came out, which is what I have behind me here. And I do my own projects, my independent projects I do on Final Cut Pro X just because it's the latest editing program for independent productions that's affordable and has a lot of good tools for doing smaller projects. The project that I'm working on here, I can't really say too many details about it, but it's a documentary, and it's basically focuses around issues of homelessness in New York City. And that's me actually shooting on the job in the city, interviewing a homeless person and trying to talk to them about some of the options they have to get off the streets and different ways that I could use film and the documentary to help some of these people get off the streets. So that's what this documentary is about. One of the other things I do through my own production company is I'm a screenwriter. So a couple of people came to me with this really fascinating story, which I can't get into too many details about, but I definitely thought it was worthy of being written into a movie. And we created a deal where I basically own the rights to their story for a certain amount of time, enough for me to write the script and then pitch it to a buyer or a producer or someone who wants to make it into a movie so that we could get a movie made. I enjoy working in the entertainment industry because it's a less structured industry and it's creative. Even though you do have certain parameters you have to stay within, it's a creative industry, and hopefully you get to tell good stories. And if you get lucky, every once in a while it's a story that maybe helps somebody or to entertain somebody. So I like the fact that we're in the business of entertaining people, making people feel better, and being creative. So those are some of the things that I like about it.